Gamers, let's take a trip down memory lane, where consoles were clunky, graphics were chunky, and half the time you needed a manual just to turn the thing on. This is the history of game consoles. Roasted, toasted, and also kind of lovingly respected.
Magnavox presents Odyssey, the electronic game of the future. Odyssey easily attaches to any brand TV, black and white or color.
In 1972, the Magnavox Corporation revolutionized home gaming with the Magnavox Odyssey. This was the birth of home gaming, powered by switches, not chips, and imagination over pixels. No sound, no color, and players had to stick plastic overlays on the TV.
Pingotronic, released in 1974, delivered Pong with a European twist, mainly by replacing the game part with long, awkward silences.
I can't get these ads because of some of the things you tweet.
Two hours later,
I'm reminded of
the occasional pixel politely moving.
The TV tennis, electro tennis, served up Japan's first home console in 1975 with gameplay that was 50% tennis, 50% wandering if your console was trying to contact the Soviet satellite.
1975. Pong brought tennis to your TV with 2 sticks, a square ball, and zero mercy. No story, no graphics, just pure dial spinning rage. The Fairchild Channel F, the first console to use interchangeable cartridges. So basically, the grandpa of your PS5. It looked like a wood panel toaster, and its graphics were so basic, Pong probably got offended. But hey, you gotta respect the pioneer. Without this digital VHS player, none of us would be here.
I am Fairchild.
Coleco Telstar, the console that proves you can play Pong in style. If style means looking like a brick with knobs.
1977. The color TV game. Proof that back then, the biggest innovation was attaching your controller to the console and calling it a day. RCA Studio 2. Proof that just because you can make a console doesn't mean you should.
Stop it. Get some help.
It only displayed black and white during a time when color TVs already existed. Imagine dropping $150 in 1977 just to play glorified math homework.
The Atari 2600, the console that made gaming mainstream, and then nearly ended it with E.T. The game so bad it got buried in a desert. The thing had graphics that looked like a glitch, and sound effects that could have been a microwave trying to talk to aliens. But hey, it's a legend. A legend with a few questionable choices, that is.
The Bally Astrocade. It actually had pretty advanced graphics for the time. Too bad it came with a controller shaped like a pregnant phone. Bonus points for trying, though. It wanted to be a smart kid, but accidentally joined the wrong class. The APF MP1000. It's like someone tried to make a gaming console, but accidentally built a gadget that's equally good at playing Pong and confusing your cat.
This is the one that said, hey, what if our games had voice synthesis and a keyboard? Unfortunately, the only thing it successfully synthesized was confusion. But it gave us KC Munchkin, which was like Pac-Man's weird cousin who eats letters instead of ghosts. 1979. This thing had graphics so advanced for the time, your grandma thought it was witchcraft. And honestly, same.
Arcadia 2001. It had over 50 variants worldwide, which means even its own mother wouldn't recognize it. By the time you figured out which version you owned, it was already discontinued.
ColecoVision was like that gifted kid in school who peaked too early. Amazing graphics for its time. Its version of Donkey Kong looked like actual Donkey Kong, not Donkey Rectangle. Unfortunately, it also needed a whole suitcase of add-ons just to be modern.
Entex Adventure Vision. It's like they took the idea of 3D gaming, wrapped it in a plastic box, and said, good luck seeing anything. It's like an optical illusion, but with more confusion.
1982, the Vectrex launched. A console for people who thought fun should come with eye strain. It had vector graphics so sharp, they cut your enthusiasm in half.
Atari 5200. The console with a controller so cursed, it could summon a demon if you pressed the wrong buttons. It was bigger than most microwaves, and had controllers that broke if you looked at them wrong. But hey, it tried.
In 1985, the RDI Halcyon tried to bring voice control to gaming because yelling at your console was the future. and it costs $2,500 and play 2 games, which is more than the number of people who bought it.
But in the end, it doesn't even matter.
The NES didn't just save gaming, it gave us Mario, Zelda, Metroid, and a weird robot named Rob who stared into your soul. Blown into cartridges to fix them. Peak science, it was clunky, magical, and changed everything.
1986, the Atari 7800. For gamers who wanted next-gen excitement with all the visual thrill of tack software on a black and white TV. It was so backward compatible, it could play your old Atari games and resurrect your virginity.
The Sega Master System. The cooler kid in school who was just a little too late. Had better hardware than the NES, but somehow still lost. It's like having a Lamborghini that nobody knows how to drive.
The Atari actually came out in AC7, promising to be both a console and a computer, but mostly it just promised headaches.
Leave me alone!
The Sega Genesis. Genesis does what Nintendo don't, until Nintendo does it better later.
I am better!
But this gave us Sonic. Blast processing, which no one still understands, and a controller shaped like a boomerang with bad intentions. TurboGrafx 16. Looks like a microwave with an attitude.
Microwave?
But hey, you can finally headbutt stuff in Bonk's Adventure, a game for people who literally like to hit things.
Neo Geo? Released 1990. The only system where the price tag was the biggest boss battle.
The Philips CDI, the system that somehow got Zelda and ruined it.
You're ruining it.
If you've never seen Link say, I can't wait to bomb some Dodongos,
I can't wait to bomb some Dodongos.
you haven't lived or suffered.
1991, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System introduced us Street Fighter 2, because nothing says childhood joy like rage quitting after your cousin spams, while you desperately mash buttons on a controller shaped like a melted Pop-Tart.
1991. Sega CD. It's like strapping a rocket to your Genesis. It adds CD quality audio, full motion video, and more storage than your uncle's entire basement. It's the future, but from 1992.
The 3DO was $700. It had impressive graphics and FMVs so awkward that made local TV look like Oscar bait. It was the console for people who said, I love gaming, but I hate my money.
I will bet every pound I got!
The Atari Jaguar dropped in 1993, the bold claim of being the first 64-bit console, because nothing screams next-gen like a controller the size of a lunchbox, and graphics that look like Atari just gave up. Hey boy, listen up. We got the Sega 32X, 1994, when your trusted Genesis suddenly grows a weird expensive appendage that nobody asked for.
Released in 1994, the Sega Saturn confused gamers everywhere by launching early, costing too damn much, and rocking a library so niche it made collectors feel like archaeologists.
Then came the PlayStation, 3D graphics, Final Fantasy VII, and a boot-up sound so powerful it caused existential crisis.
Stop the cap!
You didn't play games, you entered a dimension. Also, discs that scratched if you breathe wrong. (1996), the Nintendo 64 dropped.
We will live the game through our hands.
And blessed us with Mario 64, because nothing says next gen like yeeting an Italian plumber off cliffs in 3D while gripping a controller.
Oh! Come in my hand.
That looked like it lost a bet with a fork.
The Dreamcast, the console that deserved better. Online gaming before it was cool. A controller with a built-in Tamagotchi. Sega tried to tell the future, but forgot to sell the present.
The PlayStation 2, the GOAT. This thing played DVDs, raised a generation, and launched more sequels than a Fast and Furious. You either had one, or you were waiting to borrow your cousin's. 2001, behold, the Nintendo GameCube. Small, purple, and dangerously adorable. It has a handle, it's a console, and a weapon. Mini discs, 128-bit power, and it made the best startup sound imaginable. Nintendo GameCube, small cube, Big energy.
Microsoft Xbox. A console so big, it needed its own postal code. But it brought us Halo, LAN parties, and that Duke controller. A device so massive it caused hand evolution.
2005, the Xbox 360 launched, kicked off the HD era, and immediately introduced gamers to the concept of hardware betrayal via the Red Ring of Death.
Get out of me!
It sold over 85 million units, mostly to people who bought a second one after the first exploded from playing too much Gears of War. And let's not forget Xbox Live, the place where you paid a monthly fee to be insulted by children with voices still buffering through puberty.
2006, PlayStation 3 launched at $599 because clearly we were all just waiting to sell a kidney for a Blu-ray player. It ran on the mythical cell processor, which was great at heating your room and confusing every developer not named Kojima. And yes, it ran GTA 5, the same game your PS3 booted up in 2013 and still loading today.
2006, the Nintendo Wii dropped and turned living rooms into world-class gyms. Because who needs real exercise when you can burn calories by bowling in your socks and accidentally uppercutting grandma?
2012, the Wii U dropped, bravely asking the question, what if no one knew it existed, including Nintendo's marketing team? It featured a tablet controller the size of Nebraska, and while no one knew if it was a new controller or just a Wii accessory, Nintendo bravely sold 13 million units. It was home to some great games, all of which got ported to the Switch, making the Wii U the world's most expensive beta test.
2013, the PlayStation 4 launched, proving Sony learned that gamers want games, not confusing hardware experiments. It packed enough power to finally stop blaming the cell processor and start blaming your internet for lag. And with exclusive titles like Bloodborne and Spider-Man, it gave us reasons to ignore real life until the system updated again.
2013, the Xbox One launched, proudly debuting as a $500 all-in-one entertainment hub nobody asked for. It came with a Kinect 2.0, because what gamer doesn't want consoles spying on them while they play? And after the always online meltdown, Microsoft backpedaled harder than Master Chief, dodging plasma grenades, saving Halo fans from eternal rage quits.
2017, the Nintendo Switch. Perfect for gamers who want strangers to judge their frantic button mashing both at home and on the bus. The Joy-Con drift is like a tiny gremlin sabotaging your skills. Because why win when you can suffer instead? Meanwhile, Zelda lets you save Hyrule, and Mario Odyssey lets you travel the world. Both way more productive than dealing with your actual life.
2020, put your mask on. The Xbox Series X and S launched, boasting enough power to make your old console feel like it's stuck in the Stone Age. It loads games so fast, you'll finally have time to question all your bad life decisions between rounds. And with backwards compatibility, you can dive back into classics and remember exactly why you gave up on them the first time.
2020, keep your mask on. The PS5 launched, serving serious future tech vibes and threatening to outshine your entire living room. It loads games so quickly you'll forget what waiting feels like until the next patch drops, that is. And with its jaw-dropping graphics, it's basically a reminder that your real life is way less exciting than any video game.
2025. Finally, we have the Nintendo Switch 2. Because apparently, ignoring your responsibilities needs a shiny new upgrade. With better battery life, you can now procrastinate for hours without that terrifying low battery panic. And with new games dropping, it's the perfect way to avoid adulting, just with extra graphics to make you feel even guiltier.
Thanks for watching this totally educational, historically accurate journey through gaming greatness.
Like and subscribe. Comment and share.